All right, we are live. We'll give a second for people to come in here. I was just saying that I am impressed by these women and how they have found a quiet space in their house. Their home life. They told me, don't jinx it. I'm not gonna jinx it. I'm not gonna jinx it. I told them, I said, I don't know what type of threats you guys had to dish out before we went live here. But yeah.
We'll see how it goes. I'm apologizing in advance if any kids or dogs make any noise.
That's what this conversation is about. I'm starting to see some people come in. Let us know in the comments where you are watching from. Make sure that you can hear us. Make sure that you can see us from the fan page. Really excited about this conversation. Also because I feel like I'm in the seat of the student, like for real on this one. You guys got the whole family unit going on. You know, I'm in quarantine looking after me, and you guys are looking after everybody. So I think, and as somebody who wants to have, you know, a family and start a family, like, it's just like, I'm the student here. I'm the student. Y'all got this. It's your world. I'm just in it. I see the eyes coming in, which is great. Let us know where you guys are watching from, where you're listening from. Let us know that you can hear us. Super excited about this episode of our quarantine content with No Madness. We are talking the work-life balance, imbalance. We'll figure out what it is. With Libryia Jones and Tanai Benard Turner now of Wandering Moms, man. I'm so proud of you ladies. We got some people. Okay, I got to throw this up. We have a Facebook user that says, I want a shirt. Meanwhile, this isn't even the new shirt. We were just talking about this.
We actually do sell this shirt. It's on our website.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, we do sell the shirts on our website. WanderingMoms.com. Click on shop. Get you a shirt, boo.
Get you a shirt. Get you a shirt. Definitely go through. We got Sabrina in from Los Angeles. Chantel says she can hear us fine, which is dope. We got some more eyes coming in. Jay's coming from Connecticut. Hi, ladies. Hello, darling. How are you?
How you doing?
Yeah, we're super excited about this one. So this is the thing, right? So for those of you, if this is your first time watching, I am Avita Robinson, also affectionately known as Evie, the creator of No Madness Travel Tribe and Audacity Fest. And this is what we have been calling quarantine content. Since the beginning of all of this COVID everything, we have been wanting to spearhead some really dope digital content. We polled the tribe within the first week of the quarantine happening and asked the tribe what you guys wanted to hear. What did you want to talk about? Did you want to talk more about COVID? Did you want to talk about work-life balance, business opportunities? Did you want to get drunk through some virtual happy hours? What do you want? And so we've been giving y'all a little bit of everything. And so this is amazing, but this is one that I think really, I mean, pardon the pun, but it really hits close to home. So we're glad that you guys are joining us. We've been here once a week, usually coming in at nighttime with the different experts and really featuring people that are in No Madness Travel Tribe. For those of you that are interested in joining No Madness, you can go on Facebook, search No Madness Travel Tribe, fill out our little questionnaire and get inside of the group. But this session today is a call out to all the parents stuck in the house, all of our people that are working from home, all of us that are looking for that work-life balance or imbalance, depending on your situation, right? And so make sure you share this from the Facebook fan page. If you're watching it from there or on my personal page, share. But I want to turn this over to the ladies that we have. We have Ms. Libryia Jones and Tanai Benard Turner of Wandering Moms. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
Your motto, right? And like, correct me if I'm wrong, but you have created a community of mothers who literally want to give their kids the world.
Yep.
How dope is that?
It is pretty dope, I think.
It is. It's amazing. And you two are avid travelers. That's the thing, like mothers on a whole other level, entrepreneurs, working mothers in school at the same time, all of these things. So you guys tell us the story first off. How did Wandering Moms come about?
You make us sound so dope. Appreciate that. Wandering Moms actually started from No Madness. Yes. Crazy enough. I have been in No Madness for forever. I think it was like 4,000 people in No Madness when I got in. And Tanai, I reached out to Tanai years ago because I was thinking about moving to the UAE. And I had seen the article of her living there with her kids, and just wanted to know what it was like for kids and what it was like being a single mom there. And we had a couple of conversations, but then Tanai was coming into town for the No Madness annual barbecue in Atlanta.
Shout out to the barbecue.
Shout out to Tribe Barbecue. And I live in Atlanta. And so she posted in No Madness and she was like, anybody got a couch I can sleep on? And I was like, girl, I got more than a couch. I got a whole guest room you can stay in.
This is how you guys met? I never knew
how we met. She came specifically, yes, with the Tribe Barbecue that we had at Kim West's house with the cigars and everything. It was that weekend.
Yeah. Oh, shouts out to Kim. Those barbecues at her house.
Man, I miss it so much. But she came through, but before she came, she was like, hey, do you want to have a brunch to like talk to women about traveling with their kids and stuff like that? And I was like, yeah, sure, let's do that. Let's have a brunch. She was like, well, since you live there, can you like, plan it? She was like, I'll promote it and you plan it. And I was like, okay. So I threw together a flyer, figured we should call it something. And so I just called it Wandering Moms Brunch. And 6 people showed up. And
I think one actually drove like 2 hours.
Yeah.
I didn't even know her, but she drove 2 hours to come to the brunch.
She drove 2 hours to come to the brunch. Shauna Jones was there. A couple of other people from No Madness was there, but it was only 6 people. And we created a Facebook page just to share the pictures from it. And that was it. So we started this Facebook group with 6 people. And today we're at close to 21,000 moms.
Worldwide, yes.
Yeah.
It's been so dope to see you guys, like, because I have, particularly Libryia, I know I have a personal relationship with you, and Tanai, we've worked with you and had you speak at a number of events and things that we've had also featured with Wandering Moms. And it's just been, can I just say, it's so dope to see the growth, to see everything that you guys have gone through, to see the lessons, the ups and downs. Like literally it's amazing. And I'm going to have like a sentimental moment with you guys right now. It's also, I feel like, a testament to, I'm glad that I answered the call to No Madness, even when I didn't know what the hell it was. Because sometimes, like, if you're in Tribe, you know that No Madness is low key like a business incubator.
Yeah, basically.
It's like a Black business incubator. And you don't really know that if you're on the outside of it. And so when I see, people like both of you kind of take advantage of the community and also kind of find your niche within the community and break off and grow from that, it's just like, it's such a beautiful thing, but it's also a testament to like, damn, I remember the day I started No Madness, and it would have been very easy for me to say no to. Mm-hmm. And because I said yes, other things have been able to blossom from that. And so I just want to say thank you for answering your call, because your call is also a testament that, I should have said yes when I did, and that this was the right path. So thank you, ladies.
And I know this is probably a little bit off topic, but I have to also thank you, Evie, because you started No Madness. It literally saved my stepfather's life.
Wow.
Yeah, literally.
Wow.
That's a whole story for another day, but
please, I would love to have, and personally, I would just love to hear that story. Because it's just, sometimes when you're in it, you guys know, when you're in the work, you're like, I'm in it, you don't necessarily take, and I'm a workaholic and one of those people, I don't take enough moments to just breathe in and be conscious and grateful for everything that's happened. And so these are the things that help keep me going. And so thank you so much for that. And yes, today we have to have a conversation one day, because definitely I would love to love up on you in that conversation. So getting into this conversation of the work-life balance and balance, what I want to do first and foremost for our viewers is to lay the foundation on what your respective situations look like, because they're quite different. There are some similarities, but they're very different. So Libryia, I'm gonna let you go first, because yours may be a little bit faster.
Yeah, mine is pretty straightforward for the most part.
What is you guys are starting at? What is your start level? What does your home life balance look like right now?
Balance. Ain't no balance. So ain't no balance. My household is, so I'm a single mom and I have a 16-year-old daughter. And also my sister lives with me as well. She has a 16-year-old son and a 3-month-old baby.
And I am married now. Yay for marriage. And in total, we have a total of 7 children together. At any time during this particular lockdown quarantine, we'll have 6 kids in here. And we have twins that are 9. We have 12-year-old, a 13-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 16-year-old. I'm trying to keep up. And then we do have a 20-year-old who will be visiting us during the summertime.
It's like, I mean, today when you broke it down for me before, I was like, you all right? Is everything all right? I'm good. Blink twice if you need help. Like,
right. Girl.
Lots of wine and prayer.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely. And I want to say to the viewers, if you have any questions and want to share kind of like your home life, please put them in the comments and we'll pop them up live throughout the conversation. So I want to talk about, with all the kids and just other people in the house, right? What role does routine play in both of your respective situations? How does it help? What does it reinforce? Kind of how do you go about setting routines for everybody? Tanai, I'm actually going to start with you on this one. What does routine look like for you?
So initially, when we first started all of this, I tried the scheduling thing and I tried the keeping up with routines, and I realized it wasn't going to work for me. So just trying to keep everybody's stuff together and schedule. So I kind of relinquished control over our routine, our schedule, and I did what worked best for each child. And I worked with them on their level. So I might have one child that gets up at 7 o'clock in the morning. That's fine. I might have another child that gets up at 12. That's cool as well. I feel like everybody should do what works best for them and their household and their student learner. So, you know, that's what we do here. We have no particular routines and schedules over here, and that's my family.
Yeah, I'd like to point out too, Tanai, that don't forget, like, one of the reasons why people, you know, pre-COVID, one of the reasons why a lot of moms choose to homeschool is so that they can have a schedule that's more conducive or productive for their kids, right? So they don't have to be confined to the rules that the school board sets for us. So pre-COVID, the moms that go and homeschool, that's pretty much why part of the reason why they do it. So they have more control over, you know, when their kid gets up. My daughter is not a morning person. In the morning, she's not trying to learn anything. So, you know, this situation presents an opportunity for those kids who, you know, thrive more in the afternoon to be able to be flexible. So, you know, completely commend you for accepting that they got to be on their own schedule. And so for all the moms out there that are stressing out about schedule, you know, we're a month and a half into this thing. Hopefully you've let go of that. If your kid needs a schedule, obviously give them a schedule. You know what works best for your kids, but you know, school starts at 7, but homeschool doesn't have to.
That's real. That's real. So what does homeschooling look like right now? And what does routine look like right now for your household, Libryia?
So, having done this before, I came into this already knowing that, you know, I wasn't going to be trying to wake my daughter up at 7 o'clock in the morning, right? So when she and I traveled the world for a year and she was doing online school, I figured out real quick that her getting up early is just not going to work. And trying to force that on her actually put a lot more stress on me, and it put a lot more stress on our relationship as a mother-daughter, right? So I went into this like, listen, you get up by 11. You know, just get up and get your work done. Things changed halfway through because our school board actually gave us the choice to continue school or to stop school. So all of the kids in our school district could decide that they could take their grades as of March 13th and just call it a year. The year's over, we're done. Or they could continue to work and try to improve their grades, but they could not get a grade lower than what they had on March 13th. And so my daughter had 2 A's and 2 B's. And I pretty much left it to her. I suggested that, you know, she work harder to get, you know, straight A's because this will be the easiest time she'll ever get it. But I'm leaving it up to her. We're just going with the flow. We're just trying to survive out here.
Yeah, I hear you. That's awesome. And wow, what's such a decision to make, even at like such a young age. It's just like the whole school district, the whole idea of it. Now, you brought up something about the fact that you had done this before with homeschooling. Both of you are avid travelers. So, and you have traveled with your children. So let's talk a little bit like that. Libryia, what did that look like for you? What was the context under which that you've done homeschooling before and been abroad?
Yeah, so another business started out of No Madness. 3 years ago, I started my Wander Year, and I took a group of people around the world for an entire year. And I took my daughter with me. And of course, she had to do online school while we traveled. So it technically wasn't homeschool because I wasn't her teacher. And I didn't own the curriculum or anything like that. It was the state of Florida actually offers an online school. So she enrolled in that. And we learned a lot. One of the things that we learned is we are not homeschool. We're not a homeschool family. She needs a regular classroom, honey. And I cannot be a homeschool teacher. It's not my ministry.
That's real. How did you maneuver that while you guys were out on the road?
Well, we didn't have a choice, right? So it ended up being, like I said, at first it was a challenge because I was trying to make this very rigid and regimented schedule for her, and it just did not work. And then the other thing is that she struggled with that lack of support system. She's a kid that's not going to raise her hand and ask questions in class. She needs other people in the classroom to do that. And so it just had to be a big shift to supporting her through that transition from a very traditional school program to an online school program. And it had to be flexible, right, to fill the gaps for what she was not getting in a classroom, which was, that being able to learn from other students, being able to count on other people raising their hand, being able to sit and walk through things with a teacher.
Right.
It was a big challenge.
Yeah, I can imagine. We have one of our viewers just said, "Hi, ladies. My son is in high school and is doing e-learning for regular and his criminal justice class." So we have people that are in this position literally right now that are going back and forth. So Tanai, what did you were an expat, like an expat. You left the country for years with multiple kids. What is your story when it comes to travel and the intersection of that and education?
So my position is kind of, it's weird because I'm also an educator. So I get the importance of what it means for a student to be in the classroom, but I also get the importance of what it means for a child to travel. I'm a big advocate of, I would prefer for my child to learn from real life experiences than to learn from page 42 in a textbook. So for me, taking my children out of the country and being able to just show them the world is the greatest and most valuable form of education that I can think of.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
absolutely. So where were you? How long were you there for? And what did their school look like while you were abroad?
So we were in the United Arab Emirates in the UAE for about 4 years. And they went to international school where they had to learn Arabic and they had to learn French as well as a requirement of the curriculum in the country.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, don't ask me if they say anything anymore, but they did have to.
I literally skipped my French class before this. Go on.
And what was crazy is because during that time, I was trying to get my children to do virtual learning and to do homeschooling so that we could travel more. And my daughter was totally against it at that time. Now, after she's tried virtual learning, next year, her sophomore year, she wants to homeschool now.
Wow. It's amazing seeing all this. So we have somebody in from Carla from Michigan. She says, "I'm a homeschool mom for the last 12 years of 6 kids." Carla, blink twice. This quarantine thing is kicking regular homeschool families behind because contrary to popular belief, we don't stay at home.
Yeah.
The world is our classroom and this is cramping our style big time. Yo, Carla, shouts out to you. You and Tanai are on the same bracket. Like that's really what it is. I think for me, again, as somebody who doesn't have kids yet, and I'm the student here, right? Soaking in all y'all knowledge. For me, it's like I have definitely flirted with the idea of homeschool. But again, I don't want to miss out. You know me, I'm like curator of community. So I'm all about people. So I'm like, if I keep the kids like in the house and do all this stuff, how are they going to like interact with other kids? What is that going to look like? Are there going to be social skills that they need to develop or social cues that they miss because of that? No. Does any of that stuff, is that all in my head?
It's all in your head.
It's all in my head.
They will interact with people just like you do when you travel.
Right.
In fact, they'll actually be better able to interact with people because they will have been exposed to people from all over the world, speaking different languages, having different beliefs. And I mean, I can tell you, my daughter is pretty shy, but watching her on a soccer field in Colombia, talking to girls that grew up in Colombia, have never met an American Black girl before, like that's priceless. Like watching her go to soccer practice in Prague and making friends, listen, community is everywhere. Community is everywhere you go.
You have to understand that homeschooling doesn't shut off the social part aspect of learning as well, because there are home group cohorts where people in each city, they get together and they have play dates.
Okay.
And, and like my children, they play AAU. So they meet other children through basketball.
Yeah. Right.
you build a community the same way that you would if they were in regular school, right? You build a village. I think in anything that you choose to do, you'll be trying to build that village and create opportunities for your kids to learn all of the things that they've got to learn to be, productive humans. And a note on the whole learning abroad, one of the things that page 42 versus being in the world, one of my favorite memories was my daughter read The Diary of Anne Frank. And then we went to Amsterdam and we went to Anne Frank's house. Yep. And she's walking through the house, like describing what it looked like when Anne Frank lived there. She was like, her bed was over here. She had she never could have experienced that.
That's so beautiful,
right?
That's so beautiful. I'm here for it. So, okay, you're squashing some of my fears. Giving me some more context, which I love. We have Chantel who just commented. She said, my struggle is rather to have my daughter return to regular school or continue what we're doing now. I struggle with if she's learning well or not. So now there are parents that are being forced into this homeschool because of COVID. So now they're like, damn, maybe this is a viable option. Yeah. Maybe this is what it is. That's an interesting twist of fate as well now too.
The cool thing is that there are also parents who do a little bit of both, right? So you do have the option. There are a ridiculous amount of options when it comes to education. There's co-ops, there's homeschool, there's world school, there's unschool, there's traditional school, and then there's a mix of the two. So not to overwhelm you, Chantel, but there are a lot of choices out there. And the thing that I always tell people is try it out. And if it doesn't work, you can always change, right? You can always switch and go back. And that's how I felt about doing the online school for my daughter, Zayn. At the end of the day, if she didn't like it, when we go home, she can go back to regular school.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think about the things like prom, like these little things. Tanai, sorry, I think you were getting ready to say something.
No, and I think with the virtual learning that's going on now, it's given children an opportunity to take responsibility for their education and give them an option, especially for the older children. Like I said, my daughter, who's now going to be a sophomore next year, has decided that this works better for her. Virtual learning works better for her. And we talked about it. I was like, well, what about prom? And what about Friday night football? And what about, she plays basketball.
Yeah.
And she's more concerned of just getting out of school.
Right.
The whole prom thing. Like she can go to a prom, just find a date that's in school and go to prom.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you're homeschool, you can still participate in the school zone that you're zoned for. You can still participate in school activities. You can still play sports.
Wow.
When we came back to the U.S., Zayn
was still states. Huh? In certain states, it doesn't work in Texas. Yeah.
Oh, no, really? No. Interesting. So, because when we came back to Florida, Zayn was still in virtual school for a little while, but she still played soccer at the high school. She wasn't actually in school, but she played soccer on the soccer team.
Wow, that's really cool. We have Carla just chimed in and said, no one cares more about your children's health, happiness, and future than you do. You would do just fine. You're doing just fine. I love that.
Preach, Cheryl, preach.
Yes. So I want to switch it up a little bit. Let's talk about the relationship dynamics now with everybody being at home. So we're talking like personal, intimate relationships. I'm single and home and only worrying about myself, both physically in that sense and physically in the just individual sense. So starting with Libryia, like what do relationships look like, the balance of your personal relationships during this time? All right, crickets.
Yeah,
Tanai, you're like taking this one.
I'm gonna just put this over to Tanai. Libryia is single. That's all I got for you.
So as far as the dynamics with my children and the relationship with them, I feel like this has actually helped us grow stronger. Like I actually feel like I know my kids now because I get to see them on a normal day-to-day basis. When we were, going to school, I was going to work. I barely got to see my children, because we had gymnastics after school. We had basketball games. We were going 20 miles an hour. And now that we've gotten the opportunity to stand still, like we're actually enjoying each other's company. Like I kind of like my kids.
How you cool?
They're pretty cool. And they're coming out of their rooms and they're playing outside together. And this is our first year as a blended family. This is my first year of marriage. So this is a very critical time for my family. And we're getting time that we wouldn't normally have had in other situations. We're getting time to know each other. And the same thing with my husband. This is our first year of marriage. So I'm finding out things about him I didn't know,
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, I think that's what's happening with a lot of people. They've been married to somebody for, an extended period of time, and they're learning new things. I mean, there's so many stats and stuff that are out. And I think also people that are dealing with long distance relationships. And I think you told me before that yours started off as a long distance relationship.
Right. We met online and then we dated long distance for a while. Well, for a year, which felt like a while.
Yeah.
That's a while.
Yeah, it is a while. It is a while. I think but it just shows all the different starting phases, middle phases, kind of like, new phases that relationships have and how people are dealing with it and what they're facing during COVID, and being able to do those dynamics. Now, Libryia, you have your sisters in the house.
Yeah.
So it's a different relationship dynamic.
Yeah. My sister's in the house and the 2 teens are in the house. And, what's crazy is right before this, I was very frustrated before all this happened, because I was actually traveling to Seattle every week, Monday through Thursday, and basically not seeing my kid at all. I actually had on the calendar my travel dates. And one day my daughter took a picture of it and texted to me and said, "So I have a weekend mom now?"
That's tough. Yeah.
Damn, kid. Damn.
Yeah, that's real.
So when this all shut down, it was basically like, oh, great, I get to be back home with my daughter. But I think my situation is just a little bit opposite, right? Because I've got a whole 16-year-old with a car, and we have to be mindful about spending time together. The way our house is situated, it's 3 stories, and my office is on the bottom floor. Her room is on the very top floor. And I can go the whole day and we don't even see each other. So we have to be a little bit more mindful about, hanging out. She's upstairs with her cousin. They're in the room painting or playing Minecraft. And so it has to be, we're having dinner. We're going to sit down at the table and have dinner together because we're in the house all day. So I do have to be a little bit more mindful about making sure that I spend time with my daughter. She goes on grocery runs with me so that we can talk in the car and she can make sure she gets what she wants from the grocery store. And then my sister and I, our paths kind of cross throughout the day because she works really early in the morning and then I work in the afternoon. So we kind of see each other, but we kind of don't really get to spend time together. So it just feels like everybody in my house is kind of just ships passing in the night all day.
Yeah, yeah. For those of you who are just joining, again, we're here talking work-life balance and balance with Libryia Jones and Tanai Benard Turner of Wandering Moms. If you have any questions, just put them in the comments. We will pop them up on the screen. I want to get into self-care and what that looks like because I'm very interested in how you guys navigate this at home, right? My self-care looks like candles and tarot cards and tea and all this like bohemian shit in the house, right? So that's what it looks like, writing in my journals, having quiet time, meditating, even running. I've all of a sudden turned into a runner during COVID because that's the only sense of real freedom that I feel like I can get when I'm outside via a workout. But I'm interested in what your self-care front looks like for you and you alone amidst there being other people in your domain. Tanai, I'm going to start with you actually on this. I'm interested.
So, like I said, I have a big family unit here. And part of my self-care is hiding in my closet, eating Oreos and drinking wine in silence, and allowing me to, kind of gain my composure. But also every morning, myself and my husband, we take a morning walk. And in the evenings as well. So that gives us time to kind of get our blood pumping and kind of just talk. And it's been refreshing because we never did that before. Before COVID-19, we never had time to, walk and talk. Like I said, we were ships passing in the night, like Libryia said. Everybody had their own thing in their own schedule. So that's one thing I do. I do also do bubble baths, very long bubble baths.
Love a bubble bath. I need to make one tonight.
Yes, I light the candles. I tell Echo to play some soft jazz, and I just sit there and pray that nobody knocks on the door and I have to curse them out.
Right. I love it. I love the hiding. I think hiding is like one of the realest tips that
Mom,
anybody can give.
Afraid to go hide in your car or in a closet Like,
and when you go to the car, put the seat all the way back, and then they can't see you and they think you're not in there.
Also, car naps are really great anyway, so just go for it.
Car naps. Okay, break this down for me. What?
Yeah, just go sit in the car and take a nap. Like that's the magic. That's it. And somehow car naps are very, very effective. They're so good. They're great.
And in your driveway. This happens in your driveway?
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. All right. So what does your self-care regimen look like? Jay, I love this. Jay responded. She said, I'm hiding in the car now.
Right. I know you are. I believe you. I believe you.
I believe you too.
I believe you.
Listen, girl, ain't no judgment on this end. No judgments here.
It's even better when you have food with you. You made a food run and you're by yourself and you're eating the food by yourself and no one's asking you to share. Lovely.
Yes.
Man, I used to go to McDonald's and like just get me something.
Yeah.
Just me, and then sit in the car and eat it before I go in the house so nobody will ask me for it.
This is crazy. Somebody put, I need like 15 minutes before I walk in the house sometimes. Yeah. It's so funny that they say that because when I was in like middle school and high school, my mother would always pull up to the house. And I used to sit there and wonder like, why the hell did she sit in the car for like 20 minutes?
You are the reason why.
It's because you know why now? You know why now? It's you.
Before she walked in the house, she would sit in that car for 20 minutes. And sometimes I'd just be looking outside like, what the hell? She must be on the phone. And now at 36 years old and listening to my friends who were parents, I know exactly what the hell she was doing. She was mentally preparing her ass to walk through that house and deal with whatever was about to happen. And she would also come in and go straight to her bedroom. Mm-hmm. She would check to see what was up. She would go straight to her bedroom and she would take a nap. My mother would walk through that door at like 6:30 and you do not mess with her. You do not talk to her. You do not open up that door until 8 p.m.
Yep.
And she would just resurface at 8 o'clock like a new person. And now it all makes sense.
I tell people that I learned self-care from my mother. She would come home every day and she had a rule. For the first, I think it was 30 minutes or an hour, we were not allowed to talk to her.
Yeah.
Do not talk to me. Don't ask me for nothing. If you got a permission slip you need me to sign, slide it under the door and keep it moving. Like, that's your life. Holler at me when I come out my room.
Yeah.
She also used to, every once in a while, she would like do a staycation. She would there's this hotel in my hometown. They have jacuzzis. She would go and stay the weekend at the hotel and just get away from all of us by her damn self. And I learned self-care from that woman for that reason. I'm glad that she did that because I grew up not feeling, as a mother now, I don't feel guilty about taking time to myself. I deserve my time. I deserve my time just as much as my daughter deserves my time, right?
That's so important.
I always say happy women make the best mothers. And so we've got to take time for ourselves. And so self-care for me is a whole lot of things, mostly sticking to a morning routine, drinking tea in the morning, all that. But bigger self-care is things like, I don't mom on Mother's Day. I don't believe in momming on Mother's Day. You don't work on Labor Day. I ain't momming on Mother's Day. Like, not doing it. So every year, Wandering Moms does a Mother's Day trip where we take moms away to celebrate womanhood and being moms. This year, unfortunately, we had to cancel our trip. But I am renting an Airbnb for the weekend and I'm out.
Listen, I'm not mad at it. Airbnbs right now, there are some that are so, like, I'm from upstate New York, what they say upstate, the Hudson Valley, Catskills, Adirondacks, that whole area. And there are so many escapes that I have taken, both with one other person, if I had a special someone in my life, and also just by myself.
Yeah.
And some of them are these little like huts, like the most random things in like Kingston, New York, New Paltz, New York, Woodstock. I had an amazing getaway in Woodstock for a weekend. The place purposely had no internet and it was just a time to completely unplug. It was absolutely amazing. One of our viewers is saying a yoga segment alone in the morning works great. I love to walk with the hubby. We do the same every day after over 30 years.
Oh, wow, that's incredible.
Y'all giving me hope. Y'all giving me hope.
Hashtag relationship goals.
Yeah. Mama's got to spend some time by themselves.
Yeah.
Even if it's just an hour, even if it's just, you stay up a little bit later so you can catch your shows at night, even if you just hide in the closet, taking a car nap or, disappearing for a weekend, whatever it is, like you got to have some time to yourself.
Absolutely. What role does the idea of control play in your lives right now with COVID? And I'm going to keep that pretty open-ended. I don't know if you're a self-proclaimed control freak, either of you, both of you, but what's your relationship to the idea of control during COVID right now? Tanai, I'm going to start with you on that one.
Initially, I would consider myself maybe a control freak for a little part, just a little bit. But now I've most of the children are pretty much older. They're teenagers. So it's time for them to kind of pick up the responsibility and maintain themselves. So I've relinquished control. Like, you're responsible for your education. You're responsible for keeping your room clean. You're responsible for scheduling your day. I'm not going to schedule your day anymore. You're a teenager, you know, you're 2 days away from getting out of my house.
Doesn't that feel great?
Right? I'm counting. So the only thing that I ask is, hey, help out around the house. And they have done a tremendous job. Like, me and my husband, we're saying every day how blessed we are, because the kids have stepped up so much. Like, I'm not asking them to cook. They're waking up, making breakfast for the house. They're waking up, you know, cooking dinner. They're cleaning on their own. Like, they've been really, really helpful. And I feel like because I've let that control go, they've stepped up on their own to show how responsible that they are. So I'm totally like, do what you need to do. Just do what you need to do. Don't burn my house down and don't hurt anyone.
I love that. One of our viewers said control of food intake.
Listen.
Snacking has got to stop.
Listen.
Let it out.
My grocery bill.
Listen. We got to pay for lights in this house. You can't eat all the food.
Our grocery bill is crazy.
It's ridiculous.
And we have teenage boys, and it's like, when do you stop? You don't eat like this at school.
No.
You don't.
You're bored. You are bored. You are not hungry. We actually had to start, so we buy big bags of chips, right? You buy this up in bulk. We had to go ahead and start bagging it in separate small bags.
I can imagine.
So, like, my daughter gets this huge bag, like this big, of Boom Chicken Pop. You can't eat out that bag. You just cannot. You need to go put these in baggies, and you can take a bag and go eat it, because it'll be gone in a day.
Yeah.
So for me, control, if it's my turn to answer that question. So I am not a control freak. I have always been very good about focusing on the things that I cannot control and letting go of the things that I can't. And that's served me pretty well during this time. And I feel like that's been the thing that's just kind of kept me mentally strong, because I cannot control, you know, when it's safe to go outside. It's frustrating, but I can't control it. So I'm just kind of focusing on the things that I can control. I can control, you know, my own schedule, my own routines. And for my daughter, I actually am excited about the fact that I did not kind of box her into these routines. And, you know, since we're out, you're going to be productive. You're going to start studying for the ACT and start picking colleges and applying for scholarships. Like, we could have done that. But I actually just kind of let her do her own thing. She asked me if she could paint her room, which I normally would have said no to, because I'm renting, and that means I got to pay to paint it back. But I just said, yeah, go for it. And I went into her room the other day, and I am blown away by the level of talent that she has and the amount of creativity she has. And so I'm very excited that this time has given her the opportunity to truly stretch out and explore her artistic side and her creativity, because it's been something that she's kind of dabbled with here and there, but didn't necessarily feel comfortable with, and didn't have a whole lot of confidence in her creativity and her artistic talents. And she just kind of blossomed all over the walls in her room.
I love that. You remind me of my mother in that way. I wrote all over my walls and my ceiling. Somewhere in my house, there are pictures of literally people used to come and tag my room like a yearbook.
Oh, nice.
And my mother used to tell me, she's like, Evita, I don't know how you can come into your room and like not have a panic attack, but like all of the like quotes that really meant something to my life, I would write them literally around the head of like where I slept. Mm-hmm. And I would go through them, but I would doodle, and literally it just turned. I had a friend who did this, and I came home and it started with a little patch. So be careful.
Oh no, she's already painted the entire room.
Okay, good. It started with a little patch, and literally my whole wall became like really a yearbook of my entire high school years, and everybody would come in and tag it. And my mother told me when I went to college and she painted my room, she said, Evita, it took 8 coats of paint to get over everything that was in your room. Like these painters came in here and I was like, listen, this was her thing. It made her feel good. It was expressive. It was also kind of cool after she left because her essence was like still in the house. And I was about to say, Libryia, you better let her paint. You painted my house.
I did paint your house.
You painted the gold wall of my living room with me when I first moved in.
I sure did. The cool thing about this whole thing is like, it just makes you realize that everything is just not that serious, right?
Yeah.
Like, you want to paint on the wall, it's not that serious. Go paint on the wall, child. Like we're out here trying to survive and stay healthy. And, you know, people are trying to get back to work. People are trying to get their businesses back.
Yeah.
You painting on go paint the wall.
Yeah.
If that's what makes you happy, go do it.
And I think it's important in order for us to survive this as parents that we have to loosen up.
Yeah.
We have to. We already have things going on with work that we still have to deal with. You know, the last thing that we need to do is be stressing over small things that our kids are doing 24 hours a day.
Right.
So, loosen up.
Yeah. And things that aren't like, it's not going to kill anybody for you to paint the wall. Like it's just not.
I think that's awesome. It's definitely worth it. Now, switching to something that is a bit more serious, that this is a conversation I've had with my friends who are also single or are just living with themselves. The idea of safety. We would have these conversations about how if we had roommates or a partner, we would almost feel like we would have to wring their neck a little bit to make sure that they're not bringing COVID up in this house. So when you have multiple people in your housing unit, how do you navigate the safety to make sure that the kids aren't bringing stuff in or people aren't running off and like, you know, sneaking up with their friends or their boyfriends or girlfriends, whatever, with the possibility of bringing this COVID back into your house? How do you guys navigate that? Libryia, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, that's actually been pretty challenging. And it's been a sore spot for me, a source of frustration for me, just because I am considered high risk. I have asthma. And again, I got a whole teenager with a car and a boyfriend who, you know, really doesn't understand, you know, why she has to be at home all day, every day. And I'll say this, I think that overall she gets why it's so important, right? Overall, she gets why this is important, but also, you know, she's a teenager. And as a mom, there's some line between being strict about this because it's very important. And then there's times where there's just parental fatigue. Like, I'm just tired. I'm tired of all of it. And so it's been definitely a source of frustration for us. What we've been doing is what I've been doing for myself. Also, my sister still works, right? So she works at FedEx and that's considered essential. So she has not stopped working during this time, right? So I've got people leaving my house and coming back into my house and I'm at risk. The good thing is that I'd say everybody that is going out are going out around the same people. So my daughter and my nephew are babysitting for my nephew's cousin. So they're going around the same person over and over again. And my sister is going to work. In my mind, somehow that makes me feel better. One of the things that I have been doing is just paying very close attention to my health. And I've been seeing a pulmonologist. So if anything, you know, changes in the, I guess, status of my respiratory issues, then, you know, I'm headed to the doctor. But so far so good. But I will say that that has caused a few arguments in this house about like wanting to go hang out with friends and not understanding why. And they don't have COVID. They don't go anywhere. So why can't I go hang out with them? And it's just, it's a thing. It's a thing regularly here.
Yeah, I can understand. And I could assume that that's frustrating. Tanai, what does that look like juggling everybody in your house as well?
So we have a very strict rule. You're not going nowhere, period. You know, if we do let the kids go somewhere just to get fresh air, you're staying in the car. You're going to catch some wind and you're going to stay in the car. And that's about it. But it helps because we've made sure that they remain entertained. Like, we've spent money making sure you're good. So we bought projectors and movie screens and, you know, board games and just all kind of stuff just to ensure that they're never say I'm bored. Because then I think I'm gonna spaz out if one kid says I'm bored because I just spent too much money with Amazon for you to be bored. So I think it's my responsibility as a parent that if I am gonna force you to stay home, you know, because we have to, that I also have to give you options to entertain yourselves.
Yeah.
We bought chalk, we've bought paint, we bought all kind of stuff. And I think it also helps that they have siblings to play with. It's not just them. So they can go in the backyard for hours and I will never see them again because they've been playing fish and minnows and all kind of other stuff that I've never heard of. But they have each other, which makes it a lot easier because they do have each other. And this is a great time for them to bond. So our rule is you're not going nowhere unless you're going on a walk or a ride. No.
They got a whole crew over there, man. You know?
We play 5-on-5 basketball outside.
Yeah, there's an entire squad over there. So what's the latest with what's coming up with Wandering Moms? We actually have a question from somebody that says, what is your vision for Wandering Moms post the pandemic? So what's going on? What are you guys preparing for? You know, what does that look like on this front?
You want to take that?
I mean, initially, you know, just like everyone else in the travel industry, we took a hit. And you know, it's helping to give us insight on the business side of it. Yeah. We have a community of 20,000 women, and it's, you know, just watching them support each other through all of this is great. It's great. But as far as, you know, moving forward, I think it's pushed us to work harder. You know, Libryia has done a great job with putting several trips together for our 2021 trips. We're rolling out more trips to come. Because I think after this is all over, people will be ready to get out.
Yeah, they are ready to go.
I've been saying that this ride is like, it's like being on a really, really turbulent flight. And if you can just strap in and make it to the other side and just survive it, I think that the rush of people that are going to want to go out is going to be very real. Yeah. I also think the rush of marketing dollars that are going to have to be injected back into the travel industry by a lot of our partners and companies that we've wanted to partner with and destinations and, you know, destination marketing associations is also very real. And so I just think it's like, if you can just strap in and kind of ride the wave, because I mean, we're dealing with similar things. You know, we were supposed to be in Bermuda in, 3 weeks for our No Madness trip, and that's been pulled and postponed to next year. You know, we're getting the messages from people on our Cartagena trip, which is slated for September of this year. And we're working on that now that we've got stuff together for Bermuda. It's like, you also have to kind of just like woo-saw.
Yep.
And just be like, yo, just let me deal with one thing at a time.
Yeah.
One thing at a time.
Yeah. We definitely have had plenty of those moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to cancel our biggest trip, which was supposed to start tomorrow, actually. And, I think that a lot of travel companies, all of our terms and conditions are that, typically fees are non-refundable, and there's a clause in there that includes quarantine and everything like that. But given the situation, we just wanted to do the right thing. So we offered people the opportunity to get refunds to go on another trip. And some people took the refund. Some people decided to go on another trip, which is really cool. But the future of Wandering Moms is we actually just rolled out, I think, 14 trips for next year. Because again, people are ready to go somewhere.
Right.
People are ready.
Yeah.
And people are very optimistic about this ending sometime this year. So they're ready to travel next year. And so we've also added some trips for inside the US as well, because I know a lot of people are planning to just kind of stay stateside next year as well. I think the other thing is, as Tanai said, it's actually kind of put us in a position where, we need to work harder and just really think about what Wandering Moms truly is. It's not just a travel business. We are a community. And so I think that the other part of the future of Wandering Moms is doubling down on our commitment to our community and providing moms with the kind of connection, support, encouragement, education that they need to truly be Wandering Moms and give their children the world. So,
yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. Libryia, Tanai, it's been an absolute pleasure. For people who want to learn more information, maybe sign up for one of the trips, support you guys, where can they find you?
So first,
okay.
Go ahead.
No, you got it.
First, of course, they can join us on Facebook. We have, like I said, we have a community of 20,000. I'm going to get that right one day. 20,000 women worldwide over, I think it's like eight countries, 8 to 10 countries worldwide. So they can join us there at Wandering Moms, or they can hit us up on our website at wanderingmoms.com. And if they want to know more about our trips, it's wanderingmoms.com/trips.
Yep.
Nice.
And we're on Instagram at wandering_moms.
Yep, got it. You can check in the banner down here. Ladies, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you for everybody who watched and sent in what you've been doing, as well as your questions. We have some fans of you. I love the Wandering Moms.
We love you, Chantel. We love Bree as well.
She's so sweet. She's so sweet. I love it. Thank you so much for this. This is wonderful. Yeah, it's our pleasure. We're going to keep coming with the content. Again, share it far and wide if you're watching on our Facebook fan page. And yeah, we will see you guys next week with some more amazing content. Thank you, ladies. Be safe.
Thank you.
Bye, Evie.
Bye.